Hi, I'm Romina, and I'm the actress and producer of the Insomniac. I played Amy Clover.
I'm Kate Marzullo. I'm the writer and director of Phoenix Song.
I am Joanne Higginbottom. I'm the composer of Phoenix Song.
On Insomniac, kind of early on, I thought to myself, oh, this might be a Fight Club situation where it's him. So I'm curious, in the writing process, did you always know it was going to be the cop, or what were some of the other possibilities that you explored?
You know, it's crazy. It was one of those, there were different possibilities that we wanted to take as the movie went on, or as the writing went on. I definitely didn't want it to be him in his head, because, I mean, that's kind of been done before, and some films it works great, and some of them it's kind of a cheat, depending on how it's done. So we really wanted to put the blame on someone else, and we blamed the cops. Yeah, right. Yeah, go for it.
Could you please tell me, first of all, I love your film. I love both films.
Thank you.
Could you tell me what type of camera you shot with and what you shot on film?
Sure. We shot. We used multi-cameras. We used two Reds when we shot the MX, and we used the Epic on some other shots as well on the pickups, which were the church scene and when he's lighting the car on fire. These were shot on the Epic.
What about the other? What did you use for the movie?
Oh, we just did DSLR, Canon 70.
I want to know sort of what your inspiration was for your film, and then also if there's any way to get your music.
Yeah, absolutely.
You go first on that one.
For the music, what would be the best way? This particular score isn't online. I can give you my information, and I'm more than happy to share it with anyone. But the movie's online, and you should watch the movie, and it's kind of like a music video-esque anyway. And yeah, I have jhigginbottom.com.
Yeah, the inspiration was just sort of, it's a topic I've always been interested in. And as a filmmaker and a creative person, when you're fascinated by something, obviously the first thought that comes in your head is, how can I put this on film? And I've never, for my part, ever seen this topic dealt with in what I felt like was an authentic, interesting, non-gimmicky way. So it's been a few years that I've been trying to play with how to put this on film and express it visually, because it can be very complex and it can be very tricky. So after a while of outlining and coming up with ideas, I actually started putting it in TV show form. And Phoenix Song is actually based on the concept of the TV series that I'm writing. So it's just a little taste of the TV series.
I have a question for Insomniac. Sure. I felt like the scenes, the paranoia scenes, were shot so specifically and so accurately. Can you just tell me about that process? I thought it was very, I love how you portrayed the directing and the acting for the paranoia and things like that. Tell me about that process.
Sure. Well, the director is unfortunately not here. He's filming another movie, so he would have given you a better insight as to how it was shot. but definitely, we saw eye to eye on a lot of things in terms of how we wanted the movie to progress, and what we really wanted was to see the downward spiral that the character goes through to also match, the picture to match the character. So we used a lot of different techniques and dolly shots and a bunch of different things to kind of get that across, which was pretty difficult because those were the scenes that we took longer to shoot because of the setups. So as an actor, it was definitely the hardest one to kind of stay grounded and in the zone. And as Romina could probably attest, it was difficult to get me there because everybody's running up to us and asking like, oh, we need more money for this broke. And that was always extremely stressful. So
I think it worked in your favor.
Possibly.
I want to make a comment though, because I've seen it twice, and I like this cut a lot. I think you're really getting to the core of the story and the ending, and it just worked for me way better.
Thank you.
Did you guys color correct it again?
No, it was the same. The thing is that we screened before in the Chinese theater in Dances with Films, and they have a different
It's just the whole, yeah,
yeah, they
the
have a different.
screen.
Yeah, exactly. The different format. We use
Right.
DVD here, and so that's why the sound didn't. You know, I had a little bit of an
Yes.
issue with the sound at first.
Right.
But thank you guys to you know, you guys fixed it immediately. But that was so yeah. I mean, it was, but essentially it's the same. But yeah, we got distribution, guys. So
Yeah.
that's what, yeah. So yeah, that was pretty exciting. But they did want us to, you know, trim down the film a little bit, and we trimmed down 9 minutes. So that's what she was referring to.
It
Priscilla
really made a
Productions.
difference. It really, it did. It really made a difference. Really.
Thank you.
Because it got me like excited at one point. I was like, oh wow, it took a different turn, and I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Very good. Good job.
Production question. There's a few familiar faces in there. How did you go about getting them?
Oh, that's all Romina.
There was a lot of hustling involved. Some of them were just through contacts. Luckily, I mean, this is a business that relies heavily on connections. So it's a lot of them were building relationships that I had been working on for a while, and some of the other ones. I mean, it was a mixture of sort of both of our connections, and then aside from that, it was hustling. It was talking to the agents, talking to the managers, trying to get them in there, and figuring out what was the best deal for both parties.
And she was awesome at that. She definitely, without her, the film would have been. So.
Thank you.
I thought the cast was really good too. And I like the cop.
Yeah, he's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
He's really good at
Oh
doing
my
that.
God.
Yeah. That's our Stan Harrington, who's been part of Action on Film for a very long time.
Question for Phoenix Song. I was wondering, were you friends for the project, or were you a fan of the music, or how did you two come together to work on this?
It's actually very funny. She actually scored my thesis film in film school. She somehow got in touch with our administration and said, she was in Wales at the time, going to music school. And she said, hey, look, you know, I'm trying to build my portfolio, blah, blah, blah. If there are any film students who want, you know, a score for free, let me know. So that's how I ended up hooking up with her initially, and she scored my thesis film. And then obviously once I had another film, non-student film, coming up, she was the first one that I turned to. So
the first short we did, Minette, was done completely overseas. I never actually met Kate face-to-face once during the entire project, which is really interesting. I sort of, with technology these days, you can email snippets across, and an MP3 is so small it can go in an email. So it's okay, do you like this, do you like this? And we did the first one that way. It was much easier this time, being able to, now I've moved to LA and I'm working out here, and it was so much easier. The interesting thing, actually, there's a few characters in this film that are also in the Minette film, and we actually took some musical themes that I created from that first short and implemented them in. I'm sure as an audience, and having not seen the short before, you would know, but that's mine and Kate's little nudge to each other, and you know, we can giggle from the back of the audience and know that that's for us, which is
One last question.
Here. To the two young ladies, Master for.
thank you.
I'm anxious to see your work in the future. Their music is off the charts.
Oh, thank you so much.
She's going to be a rock star.
Oh, sure.
Thank you. I have a question for Phoenix Song. I love the artistry of your end credits.